about to be an adult. It's a little scary, but I'm excited. And college is soon. Although, like, I enjoyed high school. I loved high school. I loved it more than middle school, especially being at Spica High. It was amazing. There's so much support at school. So I want to be a wildlife biologist, and I'm working at Stonehouse Animal Hospital right now as a receptionist. It's a step in the door. I still need schooling. I'm planning on going to Allen Community College to get that. So it feels great to be able to work with animals right now.
Yeah, I was just very excited through the whole process because it's the end of my whole K-12 experience, and I'm planning to go to New York University for computer science next year, so it'll be pretty different than here at Topeka.
It feels both good and sad. I know I'm gonna see some of them at the college I'm going to, and then some I may never see again. So it's just me trying to have one last memory with them before I head out.
Oi, buddy, show!
I'm feeling amazing. I'm nervous because there's a lot going on, but I'm also so excited. I'm graduating from Highland Park High School with my high school diploma, and I'm graduating Washburn University with my liberal arts degree.
So the reason I'm in different color today is because I'm actually the valedictorian of Highland Park High School. My family came here to the United States to raise me here in the United States, so being able to be the first generation to go to college is definitely an experience and an opportunity.
It's crazy because we all kind of grew up together, and now it's we're just all gonna go our own way. So it's definitely weird, but some getting used to. I want to take a year school break and go back to college, study immigration lawyer or registered nurse.
And I still have to get my bachelor's, my master's, my doctorate. So there will be multiple events like that, but I can only graduate high school once.
Most looking forward to walking down that stage.
It just feels amazing. I'm so incredibly blessed to have this faculty and everyone here supporting me. I'm going to Emporia State University to major in elementary education. I can't wait to see what everybody else does.
Having a journey with all these people and having the opportunity to watch them grow as people and be by their side, it's been a blessing and an honor. I'm ready to walk the stage and graduate, honestly. I'm prepared for the next stage of my life. I'm going to KU, going to college, and studying music and business.
I feel really excited right now. I don't think it's hit yet that I've graduated, but I'm feeling really good. It kind of feels surreal. It's kind of something we've been waiting for so long, and to have it finally be here, it just feels so good. Next, I'm gonna go to Arizona State and I'm gonna study finance. I think just thank you for making such a good experience, and I couldn't really imagine it going any other way. So I really appreciate everyone doing everything for me.
about to be an adult. It's a little scary, but I'm excited. And college is soon. Although, like, I enjoyed high school. I loved high school. I loved it more than middle school, especially being at Spica High. It was amazing. There's so much support at school.
So I want to be a wildlife biologist, and I'm working at Stonehouse Animal Hospital right now as a receptionist. It's a step in the door. I still need schooling. I'm planning on going to Allen Community College to get that. So it feels great to be able to work with animals right now.
Yeah, I was just very excited through the whole process because it's the end of my whole K-12 experience, and I'm planning to go to New York University for computer science next year, so it'll be pretty different than here at Topeka.
It feels both good and sad. I know I'm gonna see some of them at the college I'm going to, and then some I may never see again. So it's just me trying to have one last memory with them before I head out.
Oi, buddy, show!
I'm feeling amazing. I'm nervous because there's a lot going on, but I'm also so excited. I'm graduating from Highland Park High School with my high school diploma, and I'm graduating Washburn University with my liberal arts degree.
So the reason I'm in different color today is because I'm actually the valedictorian of Highland Park High School. My family came here to the United States to raise me here in the United States, so being able to be the first generation to go to college is definitely an experience and an opportunity.
It's crazy because we all kind of grew up together, and now it's we're just all gonna go our own way. So it's definitely weird, but some getting used to. I want to take a year school break and go back and go to college, study immigration lawyer or registered nurse.
And I still have to get my bachelor's, my master's, my doctorate. So there will be multiple events like that, but I can only graduate high school once.
Most looking forward to walking down that stage.
It just feels amazing. I'm so incredibly blessed to have this faculty and everyone here supporting me. I'm going to Emporia State University to major in elementary education. I can't wait to see what everybody else does.
Having a journey with all these people and having the opportunity to watch them grow as people and be by their side, it's been a blessing and an honor. I'm ready to walk the stage and graduate, honestly. I'm prepared for the next stage of my life. I'm going to KU, going to college and studying music and business.
I feel really excited right now. I don't think it's hit yet that I've graduated, but I'm feeling really good. It kind of feels surreal. It's kind of something we've been waiting for so long, and to have it finally be here, it just feels so good. Next, I'm gonna go to Arizona State and I'm gonna study finance. I think just thank you for making such a good experience, and I couldn't really imagine it going any other way. So I really appreciate everyone doing everything for me.
Welcome, everybody. We're so glad to see you. When we left here, the room was empty and now it's full, and we're happy to see all those faces out there. We will be having the Pledge of Allegiance. Do we have somebody to help us lead that Pledge of Allegiance?
We have some
today?
stars here to help us. Tennis stars, in fact, state champs. Will you all mind standing to help us start the pledge? And this will pick it up a little while.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That was like a choir. That's literally the best pledge we've heard all year, literally.
So we are going to get in the adoption of the agenda before Dr. Henderson gets too excited about all the things happening in our room tonight. So do I have a motion for the adoption of the agenda? Do I have a second? Mr. Munoz? A vote, please?
The vote is open. Dr. Bonebrake, show of hands. Okay, thank you. All votes are in and the motion carries unanimously.
Mrs. Lister, I did it. It's always so hard to rein in Dr. Anderson. She gets so excited about her highlights, but I got it done tonight, so I'm very excited.
We are excited. Our students and our highlights for the year are just amazing. This is my favorite time. We're going to start with our ShareFest volunteers and all that's happened. You already heard a little bit from Mr. Tatum at the last meeting, but we would like to ask Mr. Brody Lumpkins to come forward and let's give him a round of applause. Send him right on over to the microphone a little bit. And Brody is responsible, as are many others, and being in the background of ShareFest. He's going to share a little bit about some highlights, but if we may, we're going to show a little bit of a video. It's a 1-minute clip. All right, we're going to turn it over to the video.
Hello, Topeka Public Schools family. I'm here right outside of Topeka High. It's ShareFest, and ShareFest is that one day in the spring when churches come together collectively just to share love and kindness. We thank everybody, our churches, our school board members, our students and staff for coming together on this day to show what love in action looks like. Thank you, ShareFest, for another amazing year.
Today we are here for ShareFest, where we are working on cleaning up and keeping our campus looking beautiful with the help of our partner churches and community members. We're gonna have some work to do today.
Some of the major projects we have are our mural is going to go up in June, so they're spray washing or pressure washing the walls over there. We have a lot of mulch to make sure that everything's filled up. We also have our awesome sign in front of our school, and when you drive by, you'll see it.
Oh, it's amazing. There are people here from all walks of life, and everybody's just digging in. What do you need? Where do you want me? And just work together and just show the community that we can all work together just to make the schools better.
So today we came out here to help the community. Here we're painting, we're setting up mulch. We just came here to help out the community. Welcoming to know that HPHS has a strong presence here in the community by seeing my countless classmates coming here to help on a Saturday.
Thank you to the community for coming out and supporting Topeka Public Schools. We really appreciate it.
I just want to say thank you to the ShareFest crew, Pat. He's been an amazing foreman, and also Topeka Public Schools for allowing us to have this collaboration with them.
I want to say a big thank you. You know, we can't thank you enough. You have no idea how much we appreciate your time and effort.
ShareFest saves us thousands of dollars, and it's all because of a vision and dream some time ago, well before me, that has continued. Let's give him another I'll turn it over to the board to ask questions and then anything else you'd like to share.
Would you like to share first?
Yes, I can. Thank you. ShareFest has existed just about as long as I've been alive. And so it's funny for me to be the one standing up here. Normally it would be Pastor Jeremy Wynn, but he has now entrusted the young guns to come out and stand before you today. ShareFest has been happening every year since 2006. And it's just an amazing testament that so many hundreds and some years thousands of people come together to serve our local schools. We appreciate the work that happens between the TPS board members and all of their staff. I mean, I stand up here as one person, but we have a leadership team of 10 volunteer leaders, and we work with in the ballpark of 40 to 50 different staff members from all of the schools and districts that we work with. And so this year we had around 670 volunteers come out. And then with leadership included, that's around 750 volunteers total. And we serve 10 different sites. And this is the first year we started a family site, which was at Wanamaker Elementary, not in your district, but it was fun to watch the kids paint the playground.
That is just incredible. I can see that it's nice to have the young guns when I see all those rakes and shovels, and I'm sure they appreciate you all. Do I have any questions from the boards or statements that you'd like to share? Mr. Munoz.
Well, I just wanted to say that I really appreciate, not only does it save us that work and the resources, but also you all contribute a great deal. And in the conversations I had with different churches, I think, they learned a little bit about the school that they were serving and some of the students and the backgrounds, and as well as, I learned and met a number of different individuals coming from different churches from all over Topeka. And so I think that is, equally just as important is that connection and building of relationships that happens during work like that. So thank you again. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. Tatum.
Thank you for being here to represent. We appreciate ShareFest, and we appreciate what you young guns are doing to help kind of drive the process forward. As someone that's been involved with ShareFest for a number of years, I'm just really kind of really stepping back in my mind and trying to take inventory of how this process has played out over the years. In my mind, it feels like participation in ShareFest here in the Topeka area, particularly as it concerns Topeka public school sites. It feels like that number is on an uptick. And I know that ShareFest, I believe we took a hiatus during COVID.
Yes, for 1 year.
Yeah. But apart from that, have we been seeing greater levels of participation, particularly for folks that want to come out and do some of the work at the 501 schools?
Actually, it's been a lower number than before COVID. Actually, 2018 was 1,800 people.
Yeah.
And so we've seen a significant drop in people, but I will say we've seen a significant input of the people that we do have, put a lot more hours leading up to it. Many people don't know we work on ShareFest all year long. And so there are people who are working up from June, they pick up and they start scheduling what kind of things they should do better next year. They meet with school board, discuss what sites to do. And we have several businesses that get involved. planning all of the projects that we do, and they volunteer their employees as well. And so the volunteer numbers are lower, just to be completely transparent, but that doesn't discourage us from continuing to do as much as we used to.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
We just appreciate so much, as you heard, the dollar signs that you help public education with, and just the heart and soul of what you do for our school and our community and our church community. We just thank you so much. And maybe next time you can bring, if they're willing, your 10 other people that really help you out. We would love to thank them as well.
Yes, I will pass on the message.
Thank you. I think we have a presentation for you.
Okay.
Well, and I know that it's on the screen for those that are watching. Again, Ms. Brown, thank you so much for all that you
Thank
do.
you.
We love you and everybody else that pours love back into us. I'm gonna give you this for Pastor Wynn. This is the first time I haven't seen Pastor
I
Jeremy.
know.
And then if you can hang around for about 5 minutes when we will with the full board as well, if you have the time.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, and Ms. McKissick is here for our proclamation. Ms. McKissick, oh, there you are. All right, come right on up. And it is Better Speech and Hearing Month. She's going to read the proclamation and answer any questions you have. And I think she's giving you some stats on how many speech pathologists we have.
I can do that. I can also I brought some boots on the ground with us.
Boots on the ground. Can you stand so that we know who the boots on the ground are? Let's give them an applause. All right, then we'll turn it over to you.
Thank you.
Boots on the ground. Go
Okay.
right on ahead.
Proclamation of Topeka Unified School District number 501, Better Hearing and Speech Month, May 2023. Whereas more than 42 million people in the United States, so 1 in 10 families, have hearing, speech, or language impairments. And whereas most people with communicative disorders can be helped through medical and surgical treatment, hearing aids, and hearing and speech rehabilitation. And whereas the health costs for therapy, devices, medical care, plus the indirect cost of lost income for people with communicative disorders are estimated at more than 30 billion per year. And whereas hearing loss can often be prevented or mitigated through public awareness, early detection, and medical intervention. Other remedies include technology and education for communication access. And whereas by raising awareness of communication disorders and the critical need for early professional intervention, we underscore this year's theme, Building a Strong Foundation. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Topeka Public Schools Unified School District number 501, Topeka, Kansas, does proclaim May 2023 as Better Hearing and Speech Month.
Thank you so much. We do recognize this. So thank you for bringing it to us. Do I have any questions or comments from the board? Dr. Schumacher.
Yeah, can you, I think people that follow along must realize that I don't know a lot as a pediatrician, but I work with indirectly a lot of speech pathologists, SLPs, and just kind of an idea of the kids that you guys impact in our district, both kind of the age ranges, because we think about school and we think about kindergarten, but with speech and language, it starts so much earlier, but also kind of what a normal day looks like, and maybe even kind of the third part. We know, again, as a pediatrician, I think masks were pretty important during the pandemic, but I think we are seeing effects of that with kids that are turning 3 or turning 4, and the way that their speech is struggling, and kind of what you guys do to help with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the SLPs that are here tonight are the SLPs that provide a lot of service to our early childhood students. We have approximately 33% of our caseload is our students ages 3 through 5. So that pre-K population, we have roughly 1,300 kids on caseload, and about 409 preschoolers that we serve. I do feel like we are seeing some effects from the pandemic in the preschool population in terms of speech and language development. Masks were important. And also preschoolers weren't able to get out and have the community experiences that they typically would, play dates at the park, community preschool exposure. I think there also were less students going into maybe for well child visits. So some delays maybe weren't being picked up when they typically would be when they're seeing their pediatrician. We haven't seen a jump in numbers quite yet, but our preschool population from last year and this year is holding pretty close, but I do think we see maybe more severity. Yes. Miss Sienna, Sienna, do you want to talk about kind of where you are at and the preschool population that you serve?
I work at Shaner. So all of my caseload is preschool, and I work on a wide variety of different skills, from working on the sounds that kids are saying so that they can communicate more clearly, to working on language skills like being able to answer questions, using a variety of vocabulary words, building their functions of why they communicate. Can they request things? Can they comment? Can they socialize with others? I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Work on fluency. Yeah.
Any other questions?
I would like, some of these faces are very familiar to me, and they've been in our district for a while. I was wondering if they could tell us how long they have been helping our students in our district.
My name is April Best, and this is my 15th year in the district.
My 4th year. This is my 3rd year in the district, so also pretty new. Oh.
Neely's at Williams.
And I'm Janet Lober, and I've been 22 years.
Is at McEachran. Thank you guys for your support. This is my 32nd year.
All right, this is like a drum roll time now. Oh my, if you watch the graduation, this is the first time that I made a phone call during graduation so that we could hear from some true state champs. I'm going to ask the principal to come up, our amazing coaches to come up. All right, and you have a couple of microphone options here. And without me saying anything else, so that this camera gets these fine gentlemen up front, I'm going to stand off to the side and I will turn it over to this distinguished group to share a little bit about why we're here for those that are watching, and then to acknowledge each one of our young men. We do have certificates for them as well. So as they come up, and we'll give them those. But if we can start with seniors, that would be great when we do get to that point. We'll turn it over to you, Coach.
I'll go ahead and introduce them. Dr. Anderson, Madam President, and board members, thank you again for this another opportunity to come and share with you why West is best. I've been here quite a bit lately, and it's never a bad thing to come share. So under the guidance of our head coach, Kurt Davids, and assistant Sean Daniels, Topeka West tennis has been a perennial powerhouse for quite a while now. These men have led these young men to last year a second place state finish, with Coach Davids being named Coach of the Year for the state, and Regional Coach of the Year as well. So like I said, perennial powerhouse. And this year, obviously, they just one-upped it and took state as a team. And I'll let Coach share more about the individual players. But I just wanted to share one fact, or one quick fact. And every time I see this group, I always kind of think about the way that they've taken the term scholar athlete to another level. So these 6 young men in here, I kind of went back and did the math today. just to see what their overall GPA was. And as a team that went to state, their collective GPA was 4.24. So I think that's pretty outstanding. And again, it just kind of shows the kind of program that Coach Davids and Daniels have built over, it's got to be 20 years, 20 plus years.
I've been here 30.
You've been the coach for 30 years? He's been the coach for over 30 years or 30 years. And how long have you been assistant? 11 years as assistant. So like I said, perennial powerhouse team that they've built. And I'll just turn it over to them and let them share more about the individual student athletes and what their accomplishments were on last week.
I'd like to echo Mr. Buckendorf's appreciation of our opportunity to come down and say hello and thank you for your support. As mentioned, I've been here for 30 years. Coach has been with me for 11. He's my third assistant in those 30 years. So we've been a very stable program as well, without a lot of turnover that you see in a lot of the other coaching fields in the district, or at least at Topeka West. This was our first year as state champs. The Topeka West has always been, well, we haven't missed a state tournament in 30 years. We've always been competitive. We've finished third a couple of times. Last year we were second, and these guys bought in and made a commitment to get over the top for this year. And hours off season, summer, winter, they were always working out, always hitting tennis balls, getting after it. So we could be here tonight. Let me introduce these guys. And you can, we've got a ton of support here as well. We've got parents here. We've got, my wife is here, AD, the principal. We've been very supported for many, many years, and we appreciate that. One thing we really appreciate is the opportunity to get out on the road. We spend the night and play in Goddard. We spend the night and play in Ark City because that's what we need to do to compete at this level. And so the support and the backing on that is appreciated. We had 3 seniors on the team this year. Carter Cool was the valedictorian. When the phone call came in, he was still on the court. He was the only one on the court. When we got to the state tournament, we could have wrapped it up Saturday morning. It took a while for some pieces to fall into place. The Twins won the state title for the 2nd year in a row, and that did it for us. James Mag came off right after that with his win. And then Caleb and Caden came off shortly after that, about the time that Carter was about halfway through his match. So he was not there for the phone call, but he heard the noise that we were making while we were there. So let me bring up first Carter. Stand right here and let me talk to you.
And you know, it might be, well, the camera's still getting the from here.
Right over here.
Want to make sure you done the
As
middle, you come over here, Mr. Cool, because you're gonna have them all lined up.
Yep, wherever you want them. As mentioned, Carter's a senior, valedictorian. These 3 seniors missed their freshman year because of COVID. And so they didn't get to make a big splash onto the scene because there would have been a lot of people noticed them as freshmen. And so when they came out as sophomores, a lot of the other coaches, the tennis community was like, where'd these guys come from? Well, you didn't see them last year because of COVID. And so in 3 very successful years, Carter was a state qualifier in singles his sophomore year, placed 6th in doubles his junior year, and then was 7th in singles this year. Ian and Miles Cusick, we'll bring these guys up at the same time. As twins, they're pretty inseparable, at least until fall when Ian goes to KU and Miles goes to K-State. These guys did not play a singles match in high school tennis, did not play a doubles match with anybody else in high school tennis. It was 3 years of being together. Had its ups and downs, of course, but the nice thing was they're back-to-back state champions. The team they beat from Ark City in the state finals had beaten them 3 times this year already and once last year. So we're 1-4 against those, but we got the one that really mattered in the finals there. These guys were state champs last year as sophomores. What were we, 9th? Ninth place is sophomores. So they very, very comfortable at that state meet. These guys did not lose a city tournament match. They did not lose a league match. They did not lose a regional match. And only 2 state matches their sophomore year. James Mag. James is also a junior. And so he's got his 3 years under his belt now. So we're looking forward to big things next year. He placed 11th at state this year. He was playing his match and was doing a great job in it. And his score post kept going up and up, but the Twins got done before he did. And so we were hoping that he was going to be the one to clinch the state title, but it didn't work out that way. But he 3-time state qualifier. And so we're looking for great things with him too, as a player next year. Singles or doubles, we don't know. And James Mag. And then Caden and Caleb. Doubles team. These guys are also juniors, so we'll have these 3 back next year. Caden's been to state 3 times. This was Caleb's first time to state. And so when we lost Gavin last year, these guys came together as a doubles team and were very, very sufficient, very efficient. They placed 9th at state, won some matches, the critical matches that we needed to put ourselves in that position to clinch the team title. And so again, these 3 guys will be back and we will miss those 3 guys next year.
Coach, stand for just a moment. Let me see. There's something else back here with your name on it. And let me come around this way. I don't know that they can see. You all are all taller than me, so I don't know that anybody will be able to see this back there. So, but I will hold it up. Says, congratulations for 2023. Acacia Boys Class A 5A tennis state champs. Has all your names listed. Has that awesome photo that you sent at the end. Sir, it takes great coaches and great leaders to guide young men. Thank you for all that you do. Additionally, we have, and I know that AD Mariani is here. All right. And we know we're kind of crowded in this space, sir. We have your certificate, Coach David's certificate, as well as Coach Daniels. AD Mariani, did you have a comment you'd like to say about the coaches? Oh, you've been around 38 years. Come on up here. Come on up here. This is your last year. I know he said it at graduation. We're doing this duo thing here. All right, Coach, go ahead, AD Mariani.
Thank you, first of all, Board of Education, for supporting high school athletics. We can't do it without your support and continued support. These young men prove what great scholar athletes do in high school, and we just cannot do it without your support and your continued support. We're very proud of these kids. We'll be hanging a banner next year. We're very excited in the gym. Thank you so much.
Hey, Coach David, where's your wife at?
She's over here.
Oh, wife David, she sent an email and said, do you know who my husband is? Let me tell you about my husband. He is great. I think he's like 2 or 3 emails. Coach David, you are great. We just appreciate you for all the love you give our young people. And Coach Daniel, sir, we appreciate your commitment. And I'm going to take this. All right, and while these young men are front, only the board has a question or two. Is there a question or two from the board? And then we're going to take a picture with the board. So we'll just move ourselves up to that space.
Yes, Dr. Schumacher.
Yeah, that's more just a comment because Caden and Caleb, I see a lot of second Saturdays at Jardine, the Harvesters Food Pantry. And so there's scholar athletes, but they're also in the community doing big things. And of course, we know what Carter's done as well. And I asked Caden, I think before the winter, if you were going to play basketball again this year. And he said, I was going to focus on tennis, and I think it paid off. So congratulations to all of you guys.
Yes, Stuart Campbell, please.
So congratulations. This is so exciting.
And I want to say felicidades a los gemelos, a los mellizos, because I noticed that the twins also earned the seal of biliteracy in Espanol, which we're going to have a presentation about tonight. So I had to say that in Espanol. So congratulations for that also.
Yes, Dr. Munoz, Mr. Munoz.
Doctor, yeah, I'll take it. For the seniors here, tell us about what was it like having to compete at the same time, knowing that your friends and your classmates were graduating? What was that sort of experience like?
For me, I think we all knew from a very early time that we were not going to go to graduation. And I think I speak for all of us when I say that we were prepared for that. And I think all of us would have rather been down in Arc City playing tennis than flying across the stage.
Well, I can tell you that the whole graduation was it was loud. It was loud beyond what you can imagine. Very proud of you all. Maybe the other of you might share any thoughts, the way that things sort of planned out.
Yeah, I think from the time we qualified for state as sophomores, we kind of knew it wasn't going to be in the cards, that we were going to get to go to our graduation. But just like Carter said, we were certainly happy to be there, happy to be winning state instead of graduating.
And we were also very thankful that Dr. Anderson was able to mention us at the graduation and that all our classmates could hear what we did down there, and we appreciate it. So thank you.
Well, everyone was incredibly proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so that's some character there to say we understood and we were prepared for that early on. And so for the 3 seniors, we will be taking out an ad in the paper with just you with your graduation gown on. And I think it would be wonderful for everyone around to see that. And then we'll have a group shot with all of our students. But the 3 seniors to have a senior profile yourself in the upcoming paper. So the communications team will be in contact. Additionally, while we know that you are all scholars and that you have received many scholarships already, each of you has a $1,000 tennis scholarship just as a congratulations from someone who saw that you missed graduation and thought they wanted to just put something in the pot to say, what character? So congratulations on your $3,000, and the foundation will be in touch, right? All right, so you all want to come this way, and our board, come right on behind here for the photo. All right, we're preparing to bring up our next photo, but before we do, and I totally neglected, our district athletic director is here. Did you want to say something, Ms. Morrissey? And I am so sorry. Yes, I guess I have to do that.
Now, I stuck around as the district AD, regardless of where I served during the day as the district AD. I just want to say how very proud we are of you. I coached a long time. You're right. Consistency, good assistance takes talent, but the talent has to work hard to win a state title. And we are proud of you. As Trojans, we are proud of you as Topeka Public Schools. What you've done represented all of us, and the sacrifice as a former athlete. I missed prom. I missed, you do sacrifice things, but you're right. I think playing tennis and win a state championship will probably be okay. And you've still got your diploma. Congratulations.
Thank you. All right, now that we've taken that photo. Certificates turned around and everything. You made sure
I need to read a statement. Mr. Gibson, could you stand and I'll just read it the one time? To both of you. Please come forward and state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to address the board. We ask that your remarks to the board be respectful. If you should have a complaint against a specific employee, we ask that you submit your written complaint to the superintendent. If the complaint is against the superintendent, please address your written complaint to either me as a board president or to our clerk of the board, Ms. Lister. Thank you. Welcome. We're glad you're here.
Thank you. Ethel Edwards, 3634 Southwest Spring Creek Court, Topeka, Kansas, 66614. Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity to share with you tonight. In the face of shrinking budgets, some districts look to librarians for a quick cut despite the research showing that school libraries staffed by a certified library media specialist have a positive impact on student achievement. That impact is more pronounced in schools that serve students who face socioeconomic challenges. How we view our school libraries truly reveals our relationship with literacy. Librarians are stewards of that relationship. I make a point to refer to the work of librarians and not just libraries, for a library is just a room with books. It is the trained professional who breathes life into that space. As librarians engage in this meaningful work, we are fortunate that Topeka Public Schools has committed itself to ensuring that we have a seat at the table and a space in our schools. Libraries are a pillar of equity and inclusion. They are pure magic, and the librarians who staff them are nothing short of magicians. Tonight, we are here to honor a special librarian. After 53 years, 45 of them in Topeka Public Schools, the librarians past and current publicly thank Diane Leopold for her unwavering commitment and dedication. Loyalty to a place and a people is needed desperately in public education these days. We pay tribute to Diane's legacy as she has witnessed the evolution of education. When we think about libraries and their ability to be a light in the dark for many of our students, Diane Leopold has worked year in and year out to help librarians shine their light. Thank you, Diane. Acknowledging Diane's legacy is especially meaningful in the face of an increasingly contentious educational climate. Despite challenges, librarians continue to empower their students to be thoughtful participants in their worlds. Librarians teach them to be open-minded, to be critical consumers of information, and effective users of technology. Librarians support students' relationships with all forms of literacy and are often their safe space. We hope to continue the legacy Diane is leaving behind by honoring her with a scholarship in her name through the Topeka Public Schools Foundation. The Diane Leopold Library Media Specialist Scholarship to be awarded to a Topeka Public Schools staff member who pursues a degree in library media. Thank you, Diane, for all you have done for librarians, libraries, staff, and students. Diane.
Ethel was a librarian. She probably still is. Oh, I don't know. I have absolutely nothing to say about this except that I'm really, really pleased.
Thank you for coming forward and sharing with us. Mr. Gibson?
Jeremy Gibson, address is 928 Southwest Fraser. Two things I need to discuss briefly. One, my title is not K&E president. That's the state. My title is NEA Topeka president. which, as you all know from the personnel report, I'm stepping down. I've already spoken to some individuals about my decision to leave 501. And it's a decision that was made to further grow my career this late in the game. I guess maybe I might have had a midlife crisis. I could have bought a Corvette. I opted not to. And instead I decided to work with ELL students in Turner and also go back to wrestling and be the head wrestling coach there. So that's just some information I wanted to share with you. I have had people ask me if I was excited about leaving, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not leaving. I might be teaching in a different place, but there are things that when I have my youngest will be a freshman next year, so it's band for the next 4 years. I also do still want to be engaged with the Equity Council. That's something that I feel strongly about. There's some things I'd like to see happen on the Equity Council front. And we'll discuss that during those meetings. Really, that's all I wanted to share out with you is that I'm leaving not because of any animosity, but because it's a great opportunity. And those opportunities only come around once in a lifetime. Thank you.
Thank you for coming and speaking with us tonight. Thank you for your service. I am looking for a motion for business by consent.
All right, Madam President, I move the board approve the items of business by consent as presented and authorize the board president or superintendent to sign the special project and purchasing contracts for and on behalf of the board.
Would I have a second? Mr. Tatum? Is there any questions or discussion?
Actually, sorry.
The vote is open.
I do have a piece of discussion.
Yes, and it was about the Spanish for educators. I think it's so great that we are doing this, June 19th to the 23rd. I was just curious if how many teachers do we know are signed up for this to learn Spanish or to study Spanish?
So that was just published recently.
Oh, okay.
And so we're hoping to enroll more and more teachers.
Okay. All right, to be determined, but I think it's great we're offering this. So thank you.
Summer school,
Mhm.
it will be the next one.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
I believe your vote is up.
All votes are in and the motion carries unanimously.
Dr. Anderson, I believe you have a report for us tonight.
We are excited to bring Dr. Mejia up, and her PowerPoint is coming up on the screen to talk about refugee support and the seal of biliteracy and the incredible job that's been done as she comes to the microphone on increasing over 200% in terms of the outcomes and numbers of students that have received that seal. So we're going to turn it over to Dr. Mejia and bring her PowerPoint up. We're excited about what's happened under her leadership this first year.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Anderson. It's great to be here. I would like to report on the system that was created for the seal of biliteracy, the efforts to increase the information access and completion of the assessment. Is my PowerPoint coming? Thank you. All right, so like Dr. Anderson said, we've had over 290, now it's over 293% increase by one from last year, having attained 15, I believe, seals last year versus 45 this year. So we are very proud and excited about the effort that all the counselors in all the comprehensive high schools have put in, because it has been a tremendous effort of testing kids like we have never done before. So that, as you mathematicians or anyone with common sense can figure out, that the more we assess kids, the higher the possibility of them attaining the seal. Something else about the system that we put in place is that we have established that we test the sophomores at second semester. Any of these assessments are obviously voluntary. Nobody's going to make anybody do anything, but sophomores in second semester are able to start taking the pieces of the seal, or they can take both or more. What are those pieces? To obtain the seal by literacy, any scholar needs to demonstrate proficiency and competency in English and at least one other language. So say a sophomore or a junior decides to take one of the pieces, i.e. Spanish, French, Swahili, you name it, Ukrainian, this year, and wait either until the state assessment scores come in, because that counts as the English, demonstrating an English proficiency, or until they take the ACT as well. So that counts. The KELPA is also a measure of demonstrating competency in English. So it is up to the scholars to choose whether to do both or more than two assessments in 1 year, or continue if they are not seniors. So when a scholar earns the seal, say they are a sophomore or a junior, we bank those until they become seniors, which is when they are officially awarded the seal by literacy, as well as the pins that we have now offered the students to wear. We also established a testing window just to have, more of a system kind of thing, as I'm saying. And it starts the second full week of school after winter break and goes until the last day of April. That way, teachers can decide when is the best time for their children to be assessed, and not pile on too many assessments at once in a short period of time. We also assess seniors graduating in December in the fall, so that they also have an opportunity to take a chance at the seal. The beauty of assessing kids early is twofold at least. One, well, they can earn it early. And that opens up tracks in their high school careers to venture off into other courses that they might not be able to take, because the seal sort of exempts them from certain things and opens up other pathways. The other beauty of it is that it informs them of how they are in the progression to becoming bilingual, biliterate, or more. And the teachers also see the data, and it's tremendously valuable, so that they can use that as an instructional piece, as a conversational piece. The other thing that I've always thought is, many of us feel a certain way about assessments, right? Especially high stakes ones, or any of them. Unveiling what the seal is about early on, and students knowing that they can take it again, is great. It takes the mystery away, it takes the guessing away, and they are going more confident. Every report that I've gotten about the affect of the students taking it was, even if they didn't attain it, they walked out with their heads held high and ready to take it on next year, because now they know what it is like. But seniors, 45, right? 2 gold. The rest are silver. Wonderful. However, because we already attained some from sophomores and juniors, we are pushing those numbers even more forward than we did this year. So we have quite a few in the bank already and a few gold. So I think we're surpassing the gold standard already by having opened it up to everybody. How did we open it up? We identified every student in the district whose first language is not English. We identified all students in the district who are in the in high school, in the dual language program, or 10th, second semester and up. We identified every child in, those parameters who are in world languages. And regardless of their level 1, 2, 3, 4, I mean, the odds of passing it at level 1 are not high, but still some went for it and now they know. So world languages and ELs. So that is a huge number of students that before might not even have known that this was a thing. We also promoted it. So putting out information and education to families and to the students themselves also created interest because it is a privilege and it is a huge honor to have something that confirms their bilingualism, biliteracy, or more, because their employability and the pride, there are so many benefits and exciting things that come with that. So we distributed at parent-teacher conferences these beautiful flyers that, of course, with the help of the COM team, we created, and also sent out postcards to every student, specifically in the dual language program from 4th grade to 12th grade. But everybody got either a postcard or everybody in those categories, starting in 4th grade until 12th grade. So families now know that there is this thing and they've asked questions and the kids are motivated. So we tested, I think, over 200 students when last year they would have tested 30, for example, at Topeka West. This year they tested 65. And at Topeka High, they tested 28 sophomores and juniors and 14 seniors. And this year they tested over 160 kids. And from the records that I have, Highland Park High did not test. If I am wrong, please somebody correct me. But they tested over 150 kids this year. And from not having any attained last year, they attained 10. This year they attained 10. So we have a great momentum moving forward. This effort in, the medals and the publicity and the material, and also purchasing the assessments has been in partnership with KU through a Semilla grant. So it's for 5 years, and I believe this is year 2. So we have 3 more to bank on it. But I know that this is a huge, piece of the strategic plan for our district. So I know that we will have the support of the district to continue such great gains.
With that information, this meeting is a work session, so she's going to go over the next 2 slides and then just open it up for conversation, questions on this topic, or a related topic to this. You might remember Ms. Stewart Campbell mentioned, I think it was Wichita, or I think everyone had more people than we did. And as you mentioned that piece, seeing the structure and the system in place that can only move us forward even farther. But even the large jump this year with the system was key. And I don't know that we had a system before other than saying, here's what's available and leaving it for parents. So Dr. Mejia and team have she's just put in place one incredible system. So we thank her for that. She's very briefly going to go over the next two slides. I think you just hit on the results slide on this slide, and then I know you have your refugee piece, and we'll turn it over to the
Right.
board from there.
And if you get a copy of this, I want you to stop and look at the numbers really, because the difference between in just 1 year is gigantic. So I give a shout out to the counselors at each of the high schools, to the administrators, to the teachers who participated, and to anyone who helped promote and encourage the students to take it. It was a huge undertaking. We were all learning, and they did all the work, and I'm so proud of them and thankful for them. All right, on to our Ukrainian refugees. So here's a summary of how many students we have currently. And we have 2 at Shaner, 21 at Jardine Elementary, broken down by the grade levels as you see here. 4 at Jardine Middle. We have 1 at Avondale Academy. And at Topeka High, we have 6. In terms of employment, we have 8, I believe. Can that be moved? Thank you. All right, I still can't see it, but I can't see it. Okay, I think there are 8 employed, and you can see there in different capacities, from custodial to food service to sped paras in preschool to just paras in preschool. I personally work in the building with 2 of them, and they love it. There's one in particular who says, I never want to leave this school ever. And we're like, don't. They all, of course, have kids in the district and are really happy and continue to be happy with the supports. You know, they're not as intensive as before, but something always comes up. Like every day I hear something from them. Could you help me inquire? Could you explain? Could you something? They come to my office, and it's just wonderful to see how we have created this community of support. And just growing in culture for everybody. I mean, I now need to speak Ukrainian and want to go there when it's safe, etc. But yeah, it just opens up a world of knowledge and opportunities and desires that we didn't have before, right? Maybe. And the last part, so we have had some attrition, and it has been due to those factors. We have had a couple of families return to Ukraine. We have had 1 relocate to Florida because of health reasons connected to the weather. And others have either reunited with dad in a different state or have found jobs that are very specific to their skill set that they had in Ukraine. So not many have left, but they have. And we see these as valid reasons, and there's nothing about the district or the support that they have received that influenced any of these moves.
So the same system for Ukrainian refugees, we're now asking for next year to use for refugees, just period. You know, no matter where you come from, these are the supports and the employability skills that we want to look at, so that, again, this system then is replicated. So we can look forward to that expanded way in which we do that for other refugees. We're going to turn it over to the board to ask questions about this piece or her earlier portion of her presentation.
Dr. Mejia, this is a new position, and you have done a fabulous job of picking up and developing this department and making so many differences for students in our district. And thank you.
Thank
Do
you.
I have any questions on the board here that we may have? Ms. Stewart Campbell, please.
Felicidades.
So
For those who don't know, English is not her native language. So this is like the power of dual language and the power of bilingualism, because Dr. Mejia herself was schooled in in a dual language program.
In Colombia, yes.
Sí, sí, sí. Viva
sí.
Colombia.
Viva Colombia.
Okay, so my children are beneficiaries, and I've told some of you that I don't think I told you yet, Dr. Mejia, that my son did pass.
I know, I was going to say it.
Okay.
I want to congratulate Stuart Campbell, who is one of, I believe, 4 sophomores who attained the seal this year. Congratulations to you and of course to Stuart who put in the work.
Yes.
Very exciting.
Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Con
So
mucho
what I
gusto.
wanted to tell everybody and what Dr. Mejia said about how you're making it so, like, you have done phenomenal work, how you're making it so students will be motivated to pass the test. And by freeing up their schedules, that was extremely wise move. Because I just know, like, there are kids out there who may have dropped out of dual language if they thought, oh no, because they get so busy in high school. There's just not enough time for everything that some kids want to do. So he was very motivated because he did not want to take, I know he's not listening. He would not like me necessarily talking about him, but he's not listening and he won't know. He was very motivated to pass for a few reasons. One, que honor, right? What an honor to pass it. But 2, he did not want to take Algebra 2 in Espanol.
Right.
Right? He was like, I
Mhm.
gotta pass it. I don't want to take Algebra 2 in Spanish because that would be really hard. He could do it. Si se puede.
Yeah.
Anyway, so thank you for working it so they can have, if they pass it their sophomore year, then it's just one class junior year and one class senior year.
Correct.
I also want to thank you. This was another great move on your behalf. If a student doesn't pass one of the subtests, that they can retake it.
Right, which is why we have 10 at Park versus 9,
Uh-huh.
because this child told the counselor, you will put that thing on my diploma, watch.
Uh-huh.
And she retook one of the parts and she did it. So yes, they can do that.
Yes, yes. So follow up. So let's say a student doesn't pass. I mean, at what point can they not retake it?
They can only retake it once in that school year.
Oh,
So it's not like it's really,
okay.
Tight.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So if they can retake the whole thing, because you need to score 5 for silver.
Yes.
And an 8 for gold.
5
right?
or above gets you the seal, and yes, 5 silver, 8 or above in the subtests. It's not the composite. So it's the listening, the speaking, the writing, and the reading. So it's not all of them together as composite scores.
Mhm. Okay, so if a student didn't score a 5 in all subtests, they can retake it, or if they.
Well, no, they can take subtests once after taking the whole thing,
Uh-huh.
but not every subtest is my understanding.
Okay,
But I can look into that and report back, because my understanding is that, say I don't pass the speaking part, I can take that piece and then,
yes,
whatever happens, happens. Once.
okay. And next question, and last question. So what would you say to a child who says, hey, I passed it with silver. I'm good. I'm not going to go for the gold.
What would I say? I'm like, yes, you are. I would encourage them because, now they have information. They know exactly what they might have missed or what their flaws would have been, and would have been like, could it have been nerves, or could it have been, I don't know, time, whatever the factors may have been. And it takes only a few hours of their life to try for the gold. Why not? Like, aspire as high as you can go. Thank you.
First off, I just want to thank you for the work that you've done on this to sort of create the structure to be able to, first off, identify anyone who potentially might qualify for that, and then creating structure to make sure that individuals who are interested, that they can learn about it and they have multiple opportunities to be able to take that. I think that in your new role, I think you've created a foundation for us to have success, and 203% increase is amazing.
293%.
93, so I think that's a big deal. We should celebrate your work as well as the students, most importantly.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the more that we can do to highlight that achievement and ensure that individuals understand just how big of a deal it is. I was great during the graduation, so there's some students sort of stood up and were highlighted in front of everybody to know that is a really big deal. Any idea for what the future might look like, what next year, and because if you've had this sort of huge momentum forward, what does next year look like?
Well, next year continues the same system in terms of, okay, so if you've heard about this before, like last year, there's that seed planted. Now we water it a little bit and continue to grow so that more kids take it, which again, it was very exciting and surprising how many kids went for it. But not everybody did. So as we continue moving forward, just keeping the momentum of information, education, the why, what it can get them in the future. And, I may just put this out there. I want to start working with some businesses, and you know how they say bilingual preferred. I would like to see if they would go for sealed by literacy preferred, because then it's a vetted bilingual, not that they wouldn't be, but it's like another feather in their hat where they're like, I'm not only bilingual, I have the seal, so just some other ideas will come, Mr. Munoz.
No, I think
If you have any, let me know.
No, I think in my personal, in my work position, I get a lot of companies, organizations who are looking for bilingual. Talking about seal of biliteracy is a great way to say, you know what, this is what you needed to be looking for.
Mhm.
And Topeka Public Schools graduates a lot of these students. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
keep up the great work and look forward to hearing more in the future.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Well, I've been thinking of more ways to promote it as well. One idea I had is at our high schools, if all of our high schools do like a morning report, if students who passed it can be featured in the morning report, just just more recognition, more promotion.
Yes, absolutely. I like that. And I just remembered a way that we have talked about doing it. We didn't have the time. It was a little,
Mhm.
getting to everybody learn everything. But establishing these kind of tours to go around the high schools and talk about what this is. And now that we have these scholars who have attained it already, to be part of that tour and share their experience, why they're excited about it, how it has felt for them to validate all their efforts. So that's something that we've been talking about with, and incorporating, of course, all of the departments.
Right, like Ms. Boley, you had an idea about maybe high school kids going to the middle schools to talk about it?
That too.
So, Dr. Anderson, I think this question is for you. Is this a good time to talk about our dual language program across all grade levels?
Well, the dual language principals aren't here, so I'd
Right.
probably say you may want to save that as a separate item from the seal of biliteracy. But certainly we can add that at the time you determine you'd like to hear more about that going into the beginning of next year, particularly with the large increase in performance scores, which we're really excited about and can't wait to share. They're still preliminary, but that may also be another time to wrap in the elementary, middle, and high performance, as well as hear from those principals, if that's okay, Madam
Yes,
President.
I would really like to have that because I would really like to have us win the award for a whole program instead of just our dual language at Scott across all grade levels. So I do know that last year we had all of the buildings meet together to talk about dual language and building that program across the board. I was wondering if we were going to have another meeting similar to that.
Well, in the strategic plan, so two things. One, the Magna Award was for pre-K-12. So we won the award for that. Dr. Mejia actually
yes.
and wrote that application, as did Dr. Kipp. So that was for all schools. They spent most of their time at one of the schools that they thought was the prettiest with the smallest, youngest children, and interviewed several people. But all three schools, that award was for that. Certainly as we go into next year and we talk about dual language and have the strategic planning activities, that's where that conversation can continue in terms of what's next. It'll be important because Ms. Cooney will be new, to Landon. And so it'll be a good conversation at that time with new administration in that space. So we'll make note of making sure that strategic planning conversation, October is when that'll be.
Great.
Those individuals are informed of that and we'll make sure to let you know.
Thank you. Thank you for being here tonight and telling us about such great success. This is just so exciting, and congratulations to Stuart for accomplishing that. And he will be recognized on his senior graduation, even though he's advanced it into a sophomore
absolutely.
year.
That's when they officially receive it. So let's encourage him to go for the gold. I'm just saying.
Okay.
But yes, every person who's not a senior who has attained it is only recognized or like officially recognized and receives the seal per se in their senior year.
Thank you. I just don't want us to overlook them because they decided to get out there and be courageous. So that's great to hear. Thank you so much for all your efforts.
So the Greater Topeka Partnership acknowledged it right there for just a moment. We need to change the nameplate because it really should be Dr. Mejia's name on this award for excellence. So it's an Asterisk to the Stars award, but and it's an award for excellence at their annual partnership meeting in 2023. And it was specifically for the work we're doing with Ukrainian families. So we'll flip out the nameplate and instead put Dr. Mejia's name within this space so that she can have this in her office as one of many awards for what we're doing with our refugees. Let's give her another applause. All right.
Just following your lead.
And they'll take a picture later. Okay. Thank you. Those are all of our comments, and you've embedded the work session in that dialogue as we knew you'd want a dialogue in that regard. When you do get down to approving the resource adoption and purchases, Ms. Wallace did remind me that when you do take that motion, it needs to be to adopt and purchase so that we don't have to come back and ask to purchase in tonight's adopting. And it is written in the motion to adopt and purchase. All right.
Yes, it is. So at this time, I will ask if we have any committee reports from our board members that you can share with the rest of us.
I think I'll let Mr. Tatum talk about. You don't want to talk about the finance committee? Our disaster.
As you prepare to talk about the finance committee, I believe Mr. Robbins, there's some finance committee matters that are still in conversation. I think, am I
Okay.
correct that perhaps might not necessarily come out in this space at this time? Am I correct, Mr. Robbins? Finance committee conversations that may not come out in this particular session at this particular time, but there might be some broader items you may want to discuss. Am I correct, Mr. Robbins, in that regard? Okay. Just to.
Okay, my lips are sealed. The health and wellness committees, we are trying to promote primary care physician or nurse practitioner visits on an annual basis, try to incentivize people. There will be educational meetings with a professional development day. I think we had 25 people show up for the first meeting, and I think we distributed a couple of $1,000 as incentives to attend, but we didn't really attract a whole lot of people. So we're working on other ways. Maybe we'll charge more for those that don't get their primary care visits. We're working on that. As you are aware, I have a problem with the Smart Shopper. And so I checked with the CEOs at both hospitals as well as my previous employer's business office manager. And the providers get the same thing, the hospital get the same thing, but you can save money if you have your baby in Atchison, about 90 minutes away. That's not a real good solution. But trying to promote the wellness visits through the professional development meetings, we're going to see where that goes, and probably the start of the school year. That's all I have.
Mr. Schumacher.
Yep. So Personnel Committee met just prior to this meeting, and we continue to celebrate Dr. New as she so she got to lead the meeting this afternoon, which was, I'm sure, exciting for her. But we talked about maybe some ways to try to continue to streamline and improve both hiring, but maybe also like improving onboarding so that, maybe teachers maybe that come from other pathways other than your traditional four-year school, or maybe just teachers that are struggling in ways that we can help mentor them and look at things differently. So it was a good meeting, and I very much appreciate everything Dr. New has done. I'm also excited about what Ms. Johnson is bringing as well. So.
Mr. Tatum,
Nothing to add, Madam President.
Mrs. Schmidt,
Nothing to add.
Mr. Munoz.
I attended the Intergovernmental Coordinating Council, I believe it's called. And we met our speaker for that meeting was Mayor Padilla, who kept us updated on the various efforts within the city of Topeka to work on various things that are coming up as far as efforts to move our city forward. In addition, there was a number of other organizations. There's Washington University, Topeka Public Library, and some of our other neighboring school districts. So I think there's nothing really to specific to point out other than that we meet on a regular basis to make sure that communication is open and that we're coordinating in a way that move Topeka forward.
Mrs. Stewart Campbell.
I sadly had to miss Sheldon Head Start Committee because thought I was going to make it. It was right after our Hope Street graduation. So I got in the car at Hope Street and I was trying to log in and didn't happen. So I don't have a report, but I tried.
Thank you all for keeping us informed on your committees. Our next item is a discussion item on policy revisions. Is that you, Ms. Schmidt?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
It is attached as part of the agenda. I am not going to go through and read every edit that we made. In short, we have made proposed modifications to 8 policies, 5 regulations, and 1 nursing form. A lot of it's language cleanup. Does anybody have any questions? I know you wait all with bated breath to talk policy. No?
I did have one comment. I really like the discipline policy, the D that you added. I appreciate that for many reasons. So thank you for adding that in.
Thank you. I appreciate that feedback. Anyone else? All right, I believe they will be presented to be voted on next meeting.
Thank you. We have an action item. You're going to have your resource sheet here that we discussed at last meeting. And was there any thoughts or anything you needed to add before we go to motion to accept? Do I have a motion to adopt and purchase?
All right, Madam President, I move to approve the resource adoption and purchase as presented.
Do I have a second? Dr. Bonebrake? May we have the vote, Ms. Lister?
Vote is open.
Thank you. Very excited about this.
All votes are in and motion carries unanimously.
Board comments. Yeah. Dr. Bonebrake, we're right back at you. Here we come.
I don't know how many of you caught on the news a couple of nights ago, but Washburn Rural broke ground on an innovation center, sort of like the little theater that I've been talking about for a year. They got a bond issue. It's a 50,000 square foot building. Well, I think if we got a bond issue, we could build something similar, this little theater that the original plans I showed you a few months ago. Right now, we're working on a room that very few people knew was there, and it's full of old props of decades ago. I'd just be interesting to see if Washburn Rural can get a bond issue. Be nice if we could somehow build an outstanding little theater for debate, madrigals, just smaller productions rather than that magnificent theater that we have at Topeka High. Something is a little more intimate. Washburn Rural can do it. I can't.
Dr. Schumacher.
I think technically we can't do a bond for a certain amount of time after our last bond, but
yeah,
there's my face. Maybe like 7 years ago, my face, but more hair and it was darker. So this Saturday, there's about 7 different things going on. The Roll and Read event that I was excited about and got moved because of weather, because of my minor celebrity status. Well, now that same Saturday, I got major celebrity status because my pictures with this, but you can, at 9 o'clock at Washburn University, I'm doing Walk with a Doc. It's like a 30-minute thing, so there will still be time for the other activities in the day, but Safe Kids Kansas, which is an organization that's important to me as a pediatrician, me as a parent, and me as a community member will be there. We'll talk about kind of what Safe Kids is and the things that they do, but they also will be giving away bike helmets. So that's at the Lee Arena at Washburn. And I think that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Tatum.
Thank you. I don't have any major discussion item or, I would be remiss if I did not mention these are beautiful flowers that are up here. They just appeared. And I've noticed that they're centered around Miss Bowley, Miss Stewart Campbell, and Miss Schmidt. And I wonder why that is. Mother's Day. Okay. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. Okay. Well, yes. Speaking for the 4 other members of the board that didn't get anything, but but there is a holiday coming up next month that maybe we will get recognized. Asking for a friend.
Get a pen. Get a pen.
I'll let you surprise us. Yeah. No, they're very beautiful flowers, and again, happy Mother's Day. And graduation last Saturday is a tough act to follow. I thought it was awesome. Way more enjoyable overall than the year before, where I had to worry about Dr. Bonebreak and Miss Fleck Tally. But definitely let's do that again next year for sure. That went really well, and just a wonderful celebration all the way around. That's all I have.
Mrs. Schmidt.
All right, I'm short, so I gotta stand up. I'm wearing my NAMI Kansas attire.
Yes.
Okay. We have a NAMI walk that will be taking place thanks to our gracious hosts at Topeka Public Schools at Topeka West. It will begin, check-in starts at 8:30. The walk starts at 10. There'll be free lunch. Our honorary chair is SJ Hazim. Damon Parker of the Jones Project. I don't know how many people are familiar with Josh Jones, who worked at A&E. Phenomenal young man, Topeka Public School graduate, committed suicide. And because of that, in A&E's wrapping their arms around mental health, the Jones Project was born. We'll also have Mayor Padilla there. So just come out, get some vitamin D. Hopefully the sun's out. It won't be too hot, and support mental health because it's important. And on that note, NAMI Kansas, their goal that they're working towards right now is to have all 105 counties in Kansas to have some type of NAMI presence by 2025. So just as a reminder, NAMI stands for the National Alliance for Mental Illness. They offer all kinds of free services, free classes, free support groups for parents and caregivers of children that have diagnosed mental illnesses, family members, service family members, peers, people living with it, you name it, they've got a program for it. So we want to support them the best that we can.
8:30 Saturday.
Check-in is at 8:30. The walk starts at 10.
Which day?
On Saturday, May 20th. It is a busy day. Run from his event to this event. Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Munoz.
Yes, I could be wrong, but there is a golf tournament coming up to support Topeka Public Schools Foundation. Is that right? And it's always, I know it always falls on the first, the board meeting in June. So that's Thursday, according to my calculations, Thursday, June 1st, 2023, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. So I'd encourage all of us, as many as possible, to sign up. And if you don't play, even funner, even better. So but it's a way, obviously, it's a way to show our support to the foundation for all of the good work that they do within our school district. And so if you're able to consider that. Let's take a look. Recently, I stopped by Topeka High to talk to Mr. Wrigley's class. And so I enjoyed doing that whenever I can. Many of us also attended a ceremony honoring those who have retired from Topeka Public Schools. So I think that was amazing to be able to hear individuals who've committed a significant portion of their efforts and career, the work and everything to help students, and more specifically to help students in our district. So I think it was very very impactful to hear staff members and why they do what they do, and so that was significant for me. And I think the last thing that I'll share is that I did have an opportunity to go to, after all the graduations on the weekend, to stop by JVC and then to help honor one of our alumni who there. And I think that was impactful for me because an individual, given his circumstance, worked hard, got his diploma, and around him, surrounding him, were so many adults that were there in person, signaling that he wasn't on his own, that despite his situation, that he has always individuals and adults who are behind him to sort of help him move his life in a positive direction. So I hope, my hope is that he got a real sense of how many people were there to support him during this time. So I think that was impactful for me. Other than that, I think that's it.
Thank you. Ms. Stewart Campbell.
Oh, well, teacher appreciation was a great week. I heard from many teachers, like including my husband, how appreciated they felt, and they got lots of goodies, lots of good food. I cannot believe next week is the last week of school. So on Wednesday at 8 a.m. is 8th grade promotion at our 5 middle schools. And then it's summer break. So our next board meeting, well, you could maybe say something about that if you want to. So that's it. I'll see everybody Saturday. Well, I'm doing rock and roll and read also. So anyway, but the other events also sound very meaningful and worthwhile.
Thank you all for your comments. I want to thank Topeka Public Schools for being and this board for being so supportive of art in our district. I am now the new owner of art from Quincy and 2 pieces from Ross Elementary that are quite lovely. I'm really enjoying them a lot. Both schools raise money from their artwork. At Quincy, since it's our art school, those students get paid for their artwork. And at Ross, they were raising money for students that may have a struggle with paying for field trips. So they raised some money for that. And it was just really wonderful to see all the art and the excitement of the students. Just one example of one of our high schools, there was in scholarships, and our other high schools are similar, scholarships of $3,660,628 awarded in scholarship at Topeka West. I believe a little bit more at Topeka High. And I didn't get a total from Highland Park High School, but our community wraps around our students in so many ways, and we're very grateful. I'm grateful for our district with the Senior Salutes magazines that each of our students received. I think that's such a valuable present to our family. So I appreciate our budget being able to find a way to get that to each of them. I want to thank all the board for their work at this graduation this last week and all the graduations that we have attended. Thank you for all your time and effort for being there to support our students. If we have nothing else, I will adjourn. Can I have a motion?
Okay.
Nobody's in a hurry.
Our next meeting, I'll be sitting there.
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
I
will be absent at
presiding
our next meeting and she will be taking the seats.
Good to know. Madam President, I move the meeting adjourned.
Do I have a second?
Second.